visible and must grow very large to be seen without a microscope. Dental plaque is an example of a visible human biofilm, and algae colonies on ponds and slime and drains are examples of visible environmental biofilms. In the beauty and wellness world, foot spas can harbor biofilm and require extra attention, especially pipe molds. Because biofilms are hard to detect, their presence and effects seem to be underestimated. They are one of the most significant scientific discoveries of the past few decades, though we have much more to learn. Consciously using infection control precautions, including standard precautions, cleaning, disinfection, and sterilization, is the best method of prevention at the present time. Employ the principles of prevention. Proper infection control can prevent the spread of disease caused by exposure to potentially infectious material on an item surface. Infection control will also prevent exposure to blood invisible debris or residues such as dust, hair, and skin. Proper infection control requires 2 steps: cleaning and then disinfecting with an appropriate EPA-registered disinfectant. When these 2 steps are followed correctly, virtually all pathogens of concern in the salon, spa, or barbershop can be effectively eliminated. Sterilization, which is the process that destroys all microbial life, including spores, can be incorporated but is rarely mandated. Effective sterilization typically requires the use of an autoclave, a piece of equipment that incorporates heat and pressure. For sterilization to be effective, items must be cleaned prior to use, and the autoclave must be tested and maintained as instructed in the manufacturer's specifications. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, also known as the CDC, requires that autoclaves be tested monthly to ensure that they are properly sterilizing implements. The accepted method is called a spore test. Sealed packages containing test organisms are subjected to a typical sterilization cycle, then sent to a contract laboratory that specializes in autoclave performing testing. Step number 1, cleaning. The first step in infection control is cleaning. Remember that when you clean, you must remove all visible and surface dirt and debris from tools, implements, and equipment by washing them with liquid soap or detergent and warm water, or a chemical cleaner, and using a clean and disinfected brush to scrub any bruised or pinched portions of the item. When a surface is properly cleaned, the number of contaminants on the surface is greatly reduced. In addition, proper cleaning removes any oils or residue from items that might interfere with disinfectants being able to work properly. This is why cleaning is an important part of disinfecting tools and equipment. A surface must be properly cleaned before it can be properly disinfected. Using a disinfectant without cleaning first is like using mouthwash without brushing your teeth. It just does not work properly. Clean surfaces can still harbor small amounts of pathogens, but the presence of fewer pathogens means infections are less likely to be spread. Applying antiseptics to your skin or washing your hands with soap and water will drastically lower the number of pathogens on your hands. Do not underestimate proper cleaning and hand washing. They are the most powerful and important ways to prevent the spread of infection. There are 3 ways to clean your tools and implements, so let's go over them. Washing with soap and warm water and then scrubbing them with a clean and properly disinfected nail brush. Next, using an ultrasonic unit, and of course using a chemical cleaner. Alright, you guys, so again, I hope you are still with me. Let's now go over the importance of proper hand washing. Properly washing your hands is one of the most important actions you can take to prevent spreading germs from one person to another. Proper hand washing removes germs from the folds and grooves of the skin and from under the free edge of the nail plate by lifting and rinsing germs and contaminants from the surface of your skin. You should wash your hands thoroughly before and after working with each client. Follow the hand washing procedures that is described in your chapter. Something else to keep in mind, when washing your hands, use liquid soaps and pump containers. Bacteria can grow in bar soaps. Now let's discuss antibacterial soaps. Well, there are many marketing claims on soaps these days. Antibacterial and antimicrobial soaps have been under the scrutiny of the FDA since 2014. In 2016, many of the chemicals used in these soaps were banned. What's more, research has shown that repeated use of antibacterial products can actually increase the growth of some of the worst pathogens. The true benefit of hand washing comes from the friction created by the soap bubbles that works to pull pathogens off the skin surface. Repeated hand washing can also dry the skin, so using a moisturizing hand lotion after washing is a good practice. Be sure the hand lotion is in a pump container and not a jar. Avoid using very hot water to wash your hands because this is another practice that can damage your skin. Remember, you must wash your hands thoroughly before and after each service, so do all you can to reduce any irritation that may occur. Now let's talk about waterless hand sanitizers. Antiseptics are chemical germicides formulated for use on skin and are registered and regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. Antiseptics generally contain a high volume of alcohol and are intended to reduce the number and slow the growth of microbes on the skin. When there is visible dirt debris on the hands, neither waterless hand sanitizers nor antiseptics will work until the dirt debris is actually removed from your hands. This can be accomplished only with liquid soap and a soft bristle brush and water. Due to the drying effect of alcohol, hand sanitizers should not be overused, but if allowed by your state, they are an excellent option when hand washing is not possible. Never use an antiseptic to disinfect instruments or other surfaces. It is ineffective for that purpose. Be warned that the high percentage of alcohol can dry the skin to the point of causing openings that allow for infectious agents to infect you. With that in mind, only use hand sanitizers as a secondary option to hand washing. Caution: products and equipment that do not have the word disinfectant on the label are merely cleaners. They do not disinfect. Common antiseptics used in the salon, spa, and barber shops. The first one on the list is hydrogen peroxide. Has been used in homes and the beauty industry virtually forever. It is generally used at 3% strength and works well as an antiseptic. However, it should never be used on an open cut as it destroys the cells that begin the healing process in a wound. Isopropyl alcohol is effective in cleaning the skin. However, it can be very drying and cause irritation of the skin. Alcohol is not a disinfectant for surfaces or implements and should be used only as a cleaner or antiseptic. Step number 2, disinfecting. The second step of infection control is disinfection. Remember that disinfection is the process that eliminates most, but not necessarily all, microorganisms on non-porous surfaces. This process, however, is not effective against bacterial spores. In the salon, spa, and barber shop, disinfection is extremely effective in controlling microorganisms on surfaces such as shears, clippers, and other multi-use equipment. Multi-use refers to items that can be cleaned, disinfected, and used on more than one person. A disinfectant used in the shop must carry an EPA register number, and the label should clearly state the specific organism the solution is effective against. when used according to the manufacturer's product instructions. Caution: never use disinfectant as a hand cleaner, since this can cause skin irritation and allergic reactions. Disinfectants are pesticides and can be harmful if absorbed through the skin. Improper mixing of disinfectants can be weaker or more concentrated than the manufacturer's instructions, can significantly reduce their effectiveness. Always add the disinfectant concentrate to the water when mixing it. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for proper dilution. Safety glasses and gloves should be worn while mixing to avoid accidental contact with eyes and skin. Choosing a disinfectant. You must read and follow the manufacturer's instructions whenever you are using a disinfectant. I think you guys got the point already. Mixing ratios, meaning the dilution, and contact time, which means the time as listed on the product label, required for the disinfectant to be visibly moist to be effective against the pathogens, okay, are very important and can vary widely based on manufacturer and delivery method. So for example, most concentrates have a 10-minute contact time, whereas most wipes, because they do have wipes, have a 2-minute contact time. In general, as concentration goes up and contact time goes down, disinfectants become more corrosive and damaging to implements. Something else, not all disinfectants have the same concentration, so be sure to mix the correct proportions according to the instructions on the label. If the label does not have the word concentrate on it, that means the product is already mixed, okay, and must be used directly from the original container and must not be diluted. So be sure you read the instructions. All EPA registered disinfectants, even those sprayed on large surfaces, will specify a contact time in their directions for use. Disinfectants must have what's called an efficacy claim on the label. What does efficacy mean? Efficacy is the ability to produce the intended effect, okay, as applied to disinfectant claims. Efficacy means the effectiveness with which a disinfecting solution kills organisms when used according to the label's instructions. You guys, you must follow instructions. So don't go over there and say, oh, I'm going to add just a little bit more, or I'm going to do less water, or vice versa. Follow the specific instructions. I cannot say that enough. You must follow instructions in order for the product to be effective and work properly.
So keep that in mind when, especially when you're being introduced to a new product. It doesn't matter if it's a hair care product or a cleaning product, disinfecting product. Read the product, follow the instructions. When we doing color, when we introducing anything that you are not familiar with, even if we are familiar with, we all have a human habit of doing what we feel like we're gonna do, even when we putting stuff together. Just read the instructions so you can be in the habit of knowing how to properly do it. That's it.
Implements must be thoroughly cleaned of all visible matter or residue before being placed in disinfectant solution. Okay, this is because residue will interfere with the disinfectants and prevent proper disinfection. Properly cleaned implements and tools, free from all visible debris, must be completely immersed. Okay, meaning you.
So this goes back into how we operate in zone 2 and our station. So say if you're using your combs, your guards, and different things like that, whatever you're using, what's the first step to disinfecting? Cleaning. Cleaning meaning just removing all debris visible, anything visible to the eye. Sometimes we'll miss it, but if you can just brush it off and then put it inside of that disinfecting container, that's less particles that's traveling with you when you're getting ready to wash them in that white sink. Because once it's washed, then it's rinsed, then it's submerged. fully in the barbicide, because once that barbicide has particles in it and it's getting cloudy and all of that stuff, then it's no longer working properly, and we have to make a new batch of barbicide.
Must put the implement all the way in to the solution, just like shown on the video right now, in disinfectant solution. Complete immersion means there is enough liquid in the container, okay, that you're using to cover all surfaces of the item that you are disinfecting, including the handles, for 10 minutes or for the time that's recommended.
Also, complete mean complete, which is why we don't have a barbicide jar at our at the stations. I have that container on purpose because if that needed to turn into a barbicide solution, it could fully emerge whatever needs to go in there. If you've been in barbershops, you've seen the jars filthy, overflowing, open. That's improper. That's a fine. So understanding that each container, it needs to be properly labeled. I know by going back to the sink, that label can get washed off easily. We'll just relabel it. That way we know what goes in there. Also in the back, we have that container on the side with the barbicide in it with the solution because it's labeled, it's there, it's in place, it's stationary. The ones that y'all station, you can transfer and move them back and forth. It don't necessarily have to have solution in it, but that is where your dirty implements go, and then that is a good practice, especially whether you're stationary or mobile. You need to know how to practice separating which container. Also, when they're clean, you want to make sure that they're clean and labeled. Because when we go out to events, especially like community events, people see that and they're like, oh, that's a clean professional barber. It makes a difference, right?
By the instructions, right? When using spray, wipe, or aerosol disinfectants, you must still look for and adhere to the contact time to ensure that all pathogens on the label are being effectively destroyed. Types of disinfectants. Disinfectants are not all the same.
Take whatever notes you need.
Some are appropriate for use in the beauty and wellness industry, and some are not. As beauty professionals, you would primarily be using disinfectants that are effective for cleaning blood and body fluid from non-porous surfaces. Non-porous items. If you're not sure what non-porous means, it's basically an item that is made of material that has no pores or openings and that cannot absorb liquids. Okay? So something that is opposite of non-porous would be something that is porous, material that has However, just because these disinfectants are effective against the pathogen does not mean that you should automatically reach for them. They are a form of formaldehyde and they have a very high pH and can damage the skin and eyes. Phenolic disinfectants can be harmful to the environment if put down the drain. They have been used reliably over the years to disinfect tools. However, they do have significant drawbacks. Phenol can damage plastic and rubber and can cause certain metals to rust. Now let's talk about bleach. Household bleach, 5.25% sodium hypochlorite, is an effective disinfectant and has been used extensively in salons, spas, and barbershops. Bleach used in salons, spas, and barbershops must be EPA registered as a disinfectant.
So I'm going to pause it. Good job. I appreciate everybody showing up today. We're going to review chapter 1. All of this is a review. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up in class today. Woo-hoo. So, I like to engage. We're in the workbook right now. Anytime we're watching videos, make sure you're taking notes. Of course, that's chapter 4. We are doing a core review. All right, everybody's been here over 30 days, so we're going back to chapter 1. We're going to go through chapter 1 in the workbook. So I just looked through your workbook. Everybody wanted to make sure that you had a workbook, so now you have more than enough. One thing about being dynamic, if we got it, we going to go ahead and use it. So make sure also, if y'all have these books, I'm going to go ahead and make mention of this right here. If you have this book, I need you to tear the back of the answer key out that book. If you have the book. Because what we're going to do is make sure we operate with integrity. And make sure that if you're going to do the test in the front, that you don't have the urge to go in the back and then be cheating. Because you don't want to do that. You're going to rob yourself of your learning journey. We'll go over this stuff together, but make sure you tear it out and turn it in, submit it in the tray. All right, so chapter 1, the history of barbering. If y'all could also make sure y'all put the date on it, and I told y'all to put your name on the left-hand side of your workbook, so that way we can know it is your book. All right, so page 1, chapter 1. Because it's gonna be this is basically our leave no barber behind segment. Okay, there are 4 learning objectives. After completing the chapter, these are the things that you should be able to do, which is discuss the evolution of barbering and the origin of the word barber. Learn objective 2, describe the practice of the barber surgeons and the meaning behind the barber pole. What does that red, white, and blue mean? Identify the organizations responsible for advancing the barbering profession and explain the functions of each barber board. And recognize the resurgence of barbering in the 21st century and the wealth of opportunities available to the new barber. Y'all are next up. So you want to know what all opportunities are available. What route do you want to go? Where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you see yourself now? And the future can be as early as tomorrow and, 10, 20 years from now, 6 months from now, this time next year. Where do you see yourself? So the introduction, we're going to fill in the blanks. In the spaces provided, write the words that correctly completes each statement. If you have it, great, say it. If you don't, fill it in. If you know it, then say it. This was taught back church this morning. So barbering is one of the blank in the world.
Oldest documented professions.
One of the, oldest documented professions. Profession, make sure that you put oldest. You could put documented or profession in the blank. Both will be accepted. What page is that on? Oldest documented profession. What page is that on? If we talking textbook. It will be on page 6. So if you want to put page 6 on the side of your number 1, Cool, because what does that do? Help you when you go and study. If you want to highlight these things, then you just looking over it. A lot of stuff that we do, it's repetition. So I'm gonna be like, oh, we hear this again, Perfect. That means you're gonna ace that theory, because that's first base. Number 2, almost all cultures practice some form of blank and blank, given the archaeological evidence found in blank, early sculptures and blank.
Beautification and adornment found in painted pottery and burial mounds.
All right, so you caught that? Beautification. And what can y'all like kind of say it? Adornment. Some form of beautification and adornment given the archaeological that's don't mind me. Evidence found in blank.
Painted pottery and funeral mounds, burial mounds.
Painted pottery. All right, I'm gonna say where is that in the book? You got it. You got that last one. Where your book? Y'all got your textbooks too over there? Boom, 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 boom.
I don't even remember where it's at, but it's not all together in one line.
No, correct.
It's on whichever page got the pictures of the Native Americans on it.
Painted pottery. All right. You got the last word. So if you don't have any, you got to speak up a little bit. Because you done got blessed with your workbook, so we about to work the workbook. That's what workbook is. We're going to go through chapter 1. That's how we're going to go through chapter 1 together. All right, that last line, Luby,
Painted pottery, early sculptures, and burial mounds.
And burial mounds, yep. One of the things that we do with the review questions, anytime we're reviewing or going over something, we go back in the textbook, find it like a word search, like a word hunt, sentence hunt, to just make sure we fact checking to make sure it's right. I know it's right, but I just don't know where in the book at, because I was checking over you and Reginald's. All right, number 3. Why study the history of barbering? Knowing the history of your profession can help you what?
Predict and understand upcoming trends.
All right. So also when we reading out loud and repeating it, what it's doing is going into your memory bank. So that's why this is an engaging, opportunity, because regardless of how you feel about it, you only been here about a hot 30 days, right? But after you keep hearing this information, then it's subconsciously embedded in your brain. So remember, you want to make sure you know the information, so when you go into your state board, you can pass. Because if you don't pass, then you're going to have to pay to take the test and pay for permission to take the test over again, and we don't want that for our students. All right. You had read both was read for number 3, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Understanding the history of barbering. So keep in mind, each one of these dark titles, that's how it's broken down in your textbook. So where it says introduction, when you go in the textbook on page 6, it says introduction as the header. When it says why study the history of barbering, got its own header. So that answer can be located where they say, where that header is from workbook to textbook. Understanding the history of barbering. Number 4, barbering has a rich blank. A rich history. That's the first sentence right under understanding the history of barbering after the learning objective. So keep that in mind. And just discussing the evolution of barbering. It's a rich history. All right. Then it goes into number 5. We're turning ancient culture. All right. This is multiple choice, fill in the blank. So it's a mixture of both. Your state board test will be multiple choice only. It will be no fill in the blank. Fill in the blank is just allowing you to engage, write what you know, to help those, especially improve your study habits. Because we have different type of learners in this environment. So blank or scripts of hide were used as adornment, and braiding techniques were employed in many cultures. Animal sinew. And that is the second from the last sentence down in that first paragraph on page 6. At A, animal sinew is correct. Number 6, who would like to read it?
Archaeologists can trace the barbering profession and its far back as C.
The glacier age. C, the glacier age. All right, 6, who would like to read? 7, I'm sorry.
Looks like the system elevated traditional barbers.
Tribal
barbers to positions of importance, becoming medicine men, shoremen, and priests. Probably B. Religious.
Close. Anybody?
It's A. They didn't have, quote, religion. They had beliefs.
Yeah, they had
Tribes
beliefs.
didn't have religions. So it's had beliefs.
Which the belief system could vary, but it's beliefs. That's the word. That's what's in the
You don't call them
book.
religions or tribes. They didn't have religions. The word.
All right, 8, Deja.
Mind, body, and spirit is the answers. Just to fill in the blank one. Permacultures maintain the connection between all these three things: the mind, body, and spirit.
Mind, body, and spirit. Many primitive cultures maintain the connections between what 3 things? Mind, body, and spirit. Number 9, which ancient civilization is credited with being the first to cultivate hair and beauty in a fashionable way?
B.
Which one?
B. The Egyptian.
B, the Egyptians. Everybody agree? All right, number 10.
The Egyptian barber that has a statue in his honor is D.
Merrimont. Everybody agree? You agree, Reggie? Oh, okay. I have to look up. 11.
Greece and Sicilian barbers from Sicily introduced shears to the Rome between 18 BC and 700 BC.
Absolutely, I agree. Introduce what to Rome? You got that, shears?
Between what time?
Between what's the years?
800 BC and 700.
You need to call and get your account unlocked. You still can't get in? Let's see what your book and everything. Yeah. You need to contact them. Go to that email they sent you. Where are we? 12. Barber is the Latin word for
Beard.
all right, beard. And that's on page 8. What word comes from the Latin tondere, meaning to shear?
B.
Page 8. All right, now we in customs and traditions. If I was you, I would take every question that we're going over and highlight this into your textbook. Make sure it's highlighted. Make sure it's starred, underlined. Make sure it's something. So when you're going back to study, you know what to focus on as you're going through the course. Customs and traditions. Fill in the blank matching. According to the Greek philosopher and math magician, blank, The hair was brain's inspiration.
Pythagoras. I cannot pronounce his name.
Correct. Pythagoras. Oh, because that's where we get the Pythagorean theory.
Yeah.
Pythagorean theory. Pythagorean. Pythagorean. This is pathetic that we cannot speak English and we speak English. Oh, Lord. We got the words broken. I know I do. But that's all right. That will not stop you from becoming the best barber ever. Okay? All right. So let's match the description with the term. There go our favorite word right there. A. He's the last one. Believe cutting hair decrease intellectual capacity.
I think that's true.
Huh?
You know, when you go to prison, some prison, they cut your head off bald.
Mm-hmm.
And they say control you and all that.
Not in the way that he thought it did. He thought that they were actual arms.
Mm-hmm.
Like your hair could see the world around you and tell your brain what it needs to do.
So that's why he wanted to keep it. And that's why most people, they don't want to get their ends even trimmed.
He thought that hair actually had eyes on it and was giving receptors to your brain, telling your brain what was going on around you.
Maybe for black people, once you let our hair grow up.
Hey, Alexa, give us some history of the Pythagoras theorem. Oh, can you go turn the volume up to volume 8? Hey, Alexa, volume 8. And can you repeat that about the Pythagorean theorem and Pythagoras? Hey, Alexa, repeat that.
I'll repeat the song.
Oh, no. Alexa, stop. Alexa, give us the history of the Pythagorean theorem and Pythagoras.
The Pythagorean theorem, which states that in a right triangle, the sum of the squares of the lengths of the two shorter sides is equal to the square of the length of the longest side, has been known since ancient times. The oldest extant axiomatic proof of the theorem is found in Euclid's Elements, which dates back to around 300 BC. The theorem is also known to have been used by the ancient Greeks in their work on geometry and astronomy. Despite its ancient origins, the Pythagorean theorem remains an essential cornerstone of mathematics and is widely used in various fields today.
Now, what did Pythagoras say about his theorem when it came to barbering, Alexa? She don't like to talk like that. Hey, Alexa, what does the Pythagoras theorem has to do related with barbering? I'm tired of waiting on her. Look,
From 4weekmba.com. The Barber paradox is a perplexing intellectual challenge that delves into the intricacies of self-reference, logical consistency, and the foundations of mathematics and set theory.
That's all she want to give us. Okay. And the beat goes on. So believe A is the last description. So tonsure.
1972 was the year the Roman Catholic Church abolished this practice.
Correct. 1972 was the year the Roman Catholic Church abolish. I don't put an M in there. This practice. Yes. Yes. I want to say abomination instead of abolish. All right. 3. Emperor Hadrian.
Through his beard to hide scars on his chin.
Through his beard to hide his scars on his chin. Correct. Alexander the Great.
Leader of the Macedonian troops.
Yes, leader of the Macedonian troops, I believe. Francis I of France.
Accidentally burned his head with the torch.
All right, everybody got that? All right, make sure you make it your business to find it in your textbook. All right, and that's called a fact check. You fact check it. During the 19th century in France, men and women showed appreciation for antiquity by wearing variations of the blank, the style of the early Roman emperors. Caesar cut, and that's the last paragraph before we go into the beards and the shaving, and that'll be on page 10. And sometimes, let me tell you, when you studying and doing work, doing just what have you, sometimes I'll go to the back, to wherever that section end and work my way back up. Because sometimes you can just start finding the answers quicker that way. All right, now the beard and shaving section. Multiple choice, matching and filling in the blank. All right, flint blade razor found in Egyptian pyramids were used by the ruling class for B, shaving the head and face. 18, a form of tweezers was in use by the year. What you said C2? Everybody saying C? Everybody agree? Absolutely. It is on page 10. All right. 19, match the description with the term. Shave
The Mesopotamians were shaved with obstinate blades. So
all right.
C is the person.
Clean shave by 2800 BC. A, okay. Frequently local barbers for service of 1000 BC. Great job. 20, in blank, a young man's 22nd birthday constituted the rite of passage from boyhood to manhood. On this day, he received his first blank.
Rome and shade.
In Rome, a young man's 22nd birthday constituted the rite of passage from boyhood to manhood. On this day, he received his first shave. All right. Do everybody agree with D? Mm-hmm. And that's on page 10 as well. Yep, and it got it written just like that. So go back and underline and highlight or what have you. Trace the rise of barber surgeons. Describe the practice of barber surgeons and the meaning behind the barber pole. So this is a matching. Barber surgeons start on page 11 in your textbook, but we're on page 4 in the workbook. All right. Consider the father of modern surgery. All right, so E. Year barber surgeons formed their first organization in France.
C,
1096 AD. Most learned and educated people at the time.
D, monks and priests.
D, monks and priests. Period in which wigs became very fashionable.
G, 1700s to the 1800s.
All right, G, 1700 to the 1800. Duties previously performed by clergy.
I, bloodletting.
Great job. Location of the school of St. Cosmos and St. Domain.
E, Paris, France.
All right, B, Paris, France. Name associated with barbers over the 1,000 years.
A, barber surgeon.
A, barber surgeons. Did you know that? Cities where the Guild of Company of Barber Surgeons were formed.
J, London, England.
J, London, England. Year that barbers and surgeons were separated in England.
H, 1745.
H, 1745. And the year barbers took over the duties previously performed by the clergy.
F1163.
1163. So this is nothing new. All right, the barber pole. Great job with that section. The barber pole. All right. The symbolic history of the barber pole can be directly related to the technical procedures of blank performed by blank.
Blood labor performed by barber surgeon.
Awesome. 23. The bottom end cap of the barber pole represents the blank that was used as a vessel to catch the blood during blank.
Basin, blood lane.
Correct. All right, now understanding the modern barbers organization and state board, we're going to identify the organizations responsible for advancing the barbering profession and explaining the functions of the state barber boards. Multiple choice and matching. 24. During what years did the profession structure change and begin to follow new direction? The late 1800s. Great. 25, and that answer is found on page 13 in your textbook. 25, match the description with the term year. Employee groups.
D, journeyman barber.
Journeyman barbers. D, employer groups.
G, master barbers.
Master barbers. G, year and location of the formation of the Journeyman Barbers International Union of America.
K, 1887 in New York.
K, 1887 in New York. Year of the first Moeller Manual of Barbering was first published.
F, 1896 in Chicago, Illinois.
1893, Chicago, Illinois. Great job, though. All right, first state to pass barber licensing law.
J.
J, hold on. First state.
First year. It says, no, you want the one before that is year. It says the year of the motor, and the next one is the first state is
M,
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yes. Year and location of the Master Barbers of America was formed.
1924, Chicago, Illinois.
1924, Chicago, Illinois. All right. Group, the AMBBA represents. L. The group at the AMABBL.
They represent the shop and salon.
All right. Standardize the operation of barber schools.
B, National Association of Barber Schools.
B, all right. National Association of Barber Schools. Standardize the upgrade of barber training.
A, National Education Council.
All right. National Association of State Board of Barber Examiners. All right. And adopted Barber Code of Ethics.
C, the AMBBA.
All right now. You got that? Consider the state of barbering today. Recognize the resurgence of the barbers in the 21st century and the wealth of opportunities available for the new barber. Also, essay. This is an essay format. Throughout history, the trend of wearing a beard or being clean shaved was often put in place by a ruler or religious decree. In your own words, heavy on your own words, describe some of the factors that may influence a present day gentleman to decide to wear a beard or not. Many of us are influenced by musicians, celebrities, athletes, or our peer. Put it in your own words if you already did. Expound to what you already put down in your own words. And then we will go to number 27 on how we can relate as a barber to keep up to date demands and fashions best meet our clients' needs. So let's do 26. Let me know when you're done expounding. In your own words, some of the factors that may influence a present-day gentleman to decide whether to wear a beard or not. If anyone care to share, cool, feel free. If not, we're gonna move on.
Pretty much based upon how the person feels.
Mm-hmm.
And in most cases, it all depends on the person's belief or religion. They still do the same thing as modern day when it comes to wearing a beard.
Okay.
Muslim.
Like, if you could, you gonna write it down? Cause we moving together. I'm really going over it so we can make sure we tying up the ends. All right. So even when I look, we got 2 males in class. Like Reginald, why you decide not to wear a beard?
It's irritating. It took me a while to get this goatee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't mind wearing one because
Mm-hmm.
of appearance, and it's not because of religion, but
Mm-hmm.
just to see if I could rock one. But
Mm-hmm.
someday I will, but I just can't stand hair on my face that much anyway.
It's so, and I love the authentic answer because one thing we gotta realize, like, men are y'all more anal than us when it comes to our, like, when y'all like a certain thing a certain way, y'all like it a certain thing a certain way. But when you really want to try something, like, even if it's a 2% chance of you trying it just to say, okay, I did it, it still might irritate me, but I got the look I want, I rocked it, done it, got the shirt, the t-shirt to prove it. Now let me go back down to either the goatee or clean shave, especially since you got that military, y'all used to a clean shave. I think are they making that still mandatory, or are they kind of about to waive the rules on that a little bit
They
too?
read the rules on it a lot. Some people have shaving profiles, so they have to wear a beard.
Okay.
Have to break out the bumps or whatever. Because
Mm-hmm.
the shaving profile, they got very sensitive skin.
Mm-hmm.
So but they changed the regulations a lot.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of people wearing beards and stuff now.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody had a clean shave, and that was what was kind of going on. Mm-hmm.
Or clean shave.
Yep. And that was what was going on even in chapter 1, because in war, somebody would weaponize your beard, they'll snatch you up with your with your beard. Then if you got the scar on your face, now you want to grow it out because of what's happening in battle. So it was just going back and forth.
You can carry germs and bugs.
Absolutely. Yep, sanitation of that. Yep, so now number 27. How can we as barbers keep up to date with the demands of the fashion to best meet our clients' need? What can you do? Answer that question. What can you do? One of the things is go to hair shows, social events, watch shows, to see what's hot, what's coming out. I remember when Future came out, especially since I started as a hair braider and then transitioned into master hair care. When Future came out and he had them blonde locks, everybody wanted them. Now, even though we talking about beard, we talking about fashion, meeting the client needs. So whoever hot, whoever coming out, them clients gonna start asking for that. Even with like Nicki Minaj, when Nicki Minaj had the bang, ain't it? You probably seen so many bangs there. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm banging them right on up, 2 sides, pink and black, Cruella de Vil, that was like one of the looks. So just being aware of who's up and coming, who's listening to who, and they're going to start asking for it inside of the shop. Mm-hmm. And then normally we fit the trend too. Like what we like. Sometimes we'll find ourselves rocking it. And then they asking for that particular look. All right, so next is the word review. We got the word search, and it's about 12 crosswords that go with this word search. So the Latin word for beard is what? Barber. All right. Wrote the first barbering textbook, opened the first barber school in Chicago in 1893. A.B. Moeller. A shaved patch on the head. Tonsure. Early practitioners who cut hair, shaved, and performed bloodletting and dentistry. Barber surgeon. Barber employee unions. Journeyman barber group. Barber employer unions. Master barber group. Associated Master Barbers and Beauticians of America. AMBBA. Related to cutting, clipping, or trimming of hair with shears or a razor. Tonsure. And that's with the IAL at the end, right? All right. Okay. Egyptian barber commemorated with a statue. Merrimack. Most often red, white, and blue stripe pole that is iconic. That is the iconic symbol of the barbering profession. Barber pole. National Association of Barber Boards of America. NABBA. Absolutely. Sicilian, credited with bringing barbering and shaving to Rome in 296 BC. Correct. Now, we see that beautiful crossword puzzle right there looking at us. Let's take the next few minutes and all of those 12 words that we just found, find them in this crossword.
I'm capping out.
Huh?
I am dyslexic. I can't do work like genuinely. I try.
That's
I'm
fine.
Dyslexic. I'm not gonna be able to do it for real.
That's
I can try, but
yeah, just try. I see a few. I see you got about
I
4.
genuinely tried, but I'm dyslexic, so letters turn every way but right when I'm trying to do stuff like this.
Guilty as charged. So that's why we're going to just take a few minutes. Let's see what we can find, and then we'll highlight them together. Because this is the ending of chapter 1. So, let's get into it. You can use your highlighter to make it fun and colorful if you want to. Your highlighter's right there, Luby. Instead of using it.
I just ain't. I just want to do. I try. I need to get the kids books to do them though. Once it's this big, my brain is numb.
So once we do that, we'll head on into a break, and then we'll move on. If y'all want to work on the crossword puzzle together, then that's cool. Chapter 1 is very, very, very important. So you want to pull up a chair or a stool and roll over there with them? Y'all can do them together. This is a strength exercise. Yeah, because if she said she can't really see it based upon dyslexia, Reginald hate them, you willing, put everybody together, we get it done. A strength exercise. Yeah. Because it's a crossword puzzle today, a fade tomorrow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's a SWOT analysis. In any business, as an entrepreneur, you have strengths, you have weaknesses, you got opportunities, you got threats. You're only as strong as your weakest player, so you always want to know what's your strength and your weaknesses. Like Deaja's very good theoretically. She's good. She's great. She's awesome. It don't make her any less great because when a whole bunch of words get together, it just don't resonate well. So guess what? She got to pull on the team. That's where teamwork make the dream work come in at.
I got all the words already filled in.
Yeah, she got some already filled in. So what she got, that's what she got. Let's make it happen. We got 12 words we're going to find. I mean, at least if everybody find by 4. I see 4 right on hers.
I got 6 of them.
Okay. Which ones you can find? Start finding them because they just helped you write out the words that you didn't have. So look at the puzzle and then you find some and then you show them what you find.
Yeah, tell me the rest of the word.
I found the longest one. I see that
I found Barber Journeyman Group. That's the longest one. That is-
Journeyman group.
Yep.
Yep, I see that one right there. Yep. Which one you haven't found? Which one is not found?
Barber, the first one, the second one.
I need the words because I didn't write my book.
Barber.
Okay, Barber.
Baby Molar.
Okay.
And then the Barber Pole, Merrimack, and NABBA.
Okay.
And the other acronym.
Okay. Which ones you got, Reggie?
He hasn't done it yet.
Okay. So Deaja says she got 5. I mean, we got 7 to
I
find.
got 6 of
Oh,
them.
you got 6. So she halfway. She done halfwayed it. She looking for the acronym NABBA.
What you got?
You found it? Where is it?
He looking.
Oh, okay. Then the AMBBA. Which one you done found, Lou? Oh, I found AMBBA. Look at the second line from the left. The third A. Y'all found it?
Mm-hmm.
And that word is tied into the other, to barber pole. You see that, Deaja? You know how sometimes one letter loop into another one?
Give me a second, I'll figure it out.
So from the left-hand side, that second row where that A at, the third A coming.
I got the acronym. I'm trying
All right, so then where that B at, go back where that second B at, and then look, it's barber pole. Because ain't barber pole one of the words? Often the red, white, and blue stripe pole.
I see the second B. Trying to figure out which way you want to get Barber.
I'm going down. I'm going to keep going down at that angle. At the 45. I'm like a little. And it does look real jumbled depending on how you're looking at it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That one hit it for me.
That's why
That wasn't it.
sometimes we gotta use the pen, cause if we try to use the same color, it throw it. And if you stare at it too long, it's gonna look like it's
That wasn't it.
doing
Yeah, that one hit it.
You see it, all right?
Mm-hmm.
The second B. I said the second B. Yeah, Barber Pole. Yeah.
I don't too much like that.
And that's why some people do use a pen or different colors. You see it? And look, all of us got glasses on. So look, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, I know I ain't tripping. I had to put my hand right here to make sure. So right here, iamTiffany. That's this one. Mm-hmm. And then, so when I do so I would put a star, like maybe star. Okay, or circle, it's whatever you want to. Mm-hmm. See, barber pole. So they say these are good games to play to help prevent memory loss as we get older too. Yeah, that's why I'm actually emphasizing this exercise. Yep. Journeyman Barber Group, that J.
It's straight across from the bottom.
That 7th J from the bottom and take it straight across. Good job, Deasia.
We need to find Barber, A.B. Moeller, and the other dude, Merriman. Those are the only names we don't, the only big ones we don't have. Okay.
All right, Barber.
Barber.
Okay. I bet you Barber in here backwards.
M-E-R-Y. Let me look for this.
Oh, that Merriman, I bet you that's it in that 5th row coming from the left. Let me double check. Meryamat. Yep. 5th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that M, where that first M at, y'all see it and then work your way down. Let me know y'all got it. 5th row from the left. And where that first M, that's the beginning of it. You got it? Count 5 rows over. Then go to the M. The M. Merriman. You see the M? 5. You counted 5 over, Luke? Go down to the M. You done passed the M. Can you slow down? First M on the 5th row.
Is it the 5th row or the 4th row?
It's 5. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, the bottom.
It's 6. It's the 6th row. My
The
bad.
first M on the 6th row?
Yeah, my bad.
Got it.
Blame it on my glasses now. And you know what I did? I didn't even count the first row. I counted 1 when I went to the second row. Now, I know the struggle, y'all. It's okay. We listen in. We do not judge around here. All right, what else we need, Deasia? How many more?
A.B. Moeller and A.A.B.
That just 2 more?
Yes.
You said AAB or AM?
A.B. Moeller, 'Moeller, and N.A.B.B.A.
NABBA.
And N.A.B.B.A.
NABBA. Okay.
'Cause
NABBA. Okay, I found NABBA. It's with that N in journeyman, and take it on down to the page. You see it?
The first N,
Yeah, first N, then go down A at that angle,
I
like a
see it.
45.
I see it.
All right, and then who else we need?
Molar.
Let me see.
A-B molar.
All right. I feel like it's gonna be on the right side. A.B. Mola. It is so amazing how all of us operate.
I think I found it.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
journeyman? Is this in the journeyman one again?
It crosses it. It crosses that M. That M is
I see
connected.
it.
Great job, Reginald. You think Reginald ain't gonna make sure he get up in the fight. So that's all of them. Make sure y'all cross-reference each other's on.
We still didn't find Barber.
We didn't find Barber? Barber?
Barber.
You said B?
A-B-A.
Okay, one more. That's the last one, right?
Yeah.
B-A-R-B-A. B-A-R-B-A.
I gotta do a consultation real quick with the client.
Okay. Barber. B-A. You see? You found it? Where is it? B-A-R-B-A. Yeah, that's what I... B-A. B-A-R-B-A.
I'm doing good, thank you. You booked online for a lock 2 week service, so that means that you want to try and get a lock stitch and pick your lock for a week. Let's see what the hair looks like right now.
That was close. B-A-R-B-A. I found it. So it is, okay, wait, journeyman that, right, where that end that go up from that R to that B, and then go at a 45 going up towards the top of the page at that angle. You see it, B-A-R-B-A. Where that end at. You see it? You found it? Yep. Great job. Give yourselves a round of applause. And that is our chapter 1 review. Y'all are free to go to lunch. Oh, goodness. You know anyone that is interested? Comment below. Subscribe. That's Theory Class Review, Chapter 1. Best wishes on your barber journey.